What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Stella Herself podcast. As always, don't forget to take a screenshot of this, post it on your IG story, tweet it to me, tag me. I'll repost, retweet, all of that. And thank you to everyone who has been listening. Thank you to everyone who's been listening like last week, just in general. Even if this is your first time listening, bitch, welcome. Honestly, it's been a really good month so far. And I think I was talking about this in the last episode and in a recent vlog. Honestly, my most recent weekly vlog is like so funny. Like, I just was going off. And I think it's always so funny. Like, sometimes I'll be vlogging throughout the week and I'll be like, oh, I don't even know if I got enough footage. Like, I feel like I didn't even talk about anything. But then I go to import all the footage and edit. And it's like, I just be cracking myself up. What am I looking forward to? To cracking up. Oh, she really went off. No, but yeah, I've just been, like I said, I talked about this in the vlog, but I've just been really like on my grind, not going out, staying in the house, working, getting my sleep schedule. I don't want to say back to normal because it was normal ever since I went back home, but like, dude, the point of me sharing this is I did something on, what was it, Sunday, and it's like, I wasn't even lit. I didn't even stay up crazy late or anything. But just having my sleep schedule be a little off and like drinking a little bit, like, bitch, I was so exhausted the next day. And I'm just like, it's just like, why can't we have it all, It's like when you get so used to feeling good and like getting enough sleep and being hydrated and not drinking, I feel like, at least for me, like I just notice so much more when anything is off. And that is a blessing because it's like, okay, we know what it feels like to feel good and healthy, and it's good to be aware of your body and how you feel and how different things affect you, like what time you go to bed and if you drink alcohol. But it's kind of like, damn, bitches can't also have fun. Like, sometimes I just want to pop out. And it's like, dang, I really wish that I could, and sometimes I can do this, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's been a minute since my anticing. I'm a little scared for this weekend because it's my friend's birthday, and I mean, not that we're doing anything crazy, but we are going out, and then we're doing something the next day, so I'm a little like, how am I going to feel? I'm just going to stay hydrated. But like I've been saying, alcohol has just been not really affecting me well. Like, even if I'm not hungover, because I haven't, knock on wood, I don't even want to say it, but I have not had a really bad hangover in like a while. Probably since like before New York even. Like, I feel like all the times since then where I've been hungover or off is just mostly from like the lack of sleep. I literally forget what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. But even if I've just had like a couple drinks, I feel like just so tired the next day. And I'm just like, bro. So it's really annoying. But hopefully this is like the last. Like, I'm really looking forward to it, and it's going to be fun. And I'm sure most of you can relate, but part of like going out is just like the fun of like, getting dressed up. We're going to dinner. Like, it's going to be really fun. I have a TikTok idea. Like, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully, I get a pic or something. I don't know. But I'm just like, damn, I really hope that I'm not like too tired, because what the fuck. That's honestly also why I do like a day party, because then at least your sleep schedule is like normal, and then you get through the worst of your hangover if you're gonna have one, like, in the night instead of like when you wake up the next day or in the next day. Yeah, I don't know. It's just really annoying. But other than that, I've been feeling really good. Wearing my new little workout 2-piece set. Today is one of those days where I just got up and went to go get a Starbucks right away. And I'm like getting all my content done first thing. And then like I'm going to go to the gym later. Like, y'all know my fucking schedule by now. Also, I love that still to this day I'm not known as, but like the IRLs, and just like maybe y'all know me as the bitch that goes the fuck to sleep. Like, I love when an IRL is like, oh, yeah. Like, multiple people have said this to me. Like, people I know in real life, they're like, yeah, like, I always see your coffee post in the morning. Like, this one person was like, oh, like, when I see your coffee post, I know it's time for me to go to bed. Oh, glad it's like a thing, you know. But today we got the venti pumpkin cream cold brew. I get it with no vanilla syrup and instead 2 pumps in a venti, 2 pumps of the sugar-free vanilla. This is definitely something I have when I want something a little more sweet. I feel like, you know, on a day like today where I just get my day started like right away. It's not like I'm going to the gym and then gonna shower and like eat and then start working. Like, it's like get to the content right away. So I feel like it's like a breakfast. Like I'm also going to eat breakfast, but probably later, because normally I'm not super hungry when I first wake up. Unless I'm going to the gym, then I'll eat something. But I had some fruit, but anyway. It is a little more thick, you know. Not that it's so sweet or anything. And I think I was talking about this, but like, I think I really like this one, and I'm surprised that I like it. Or I was surprised that I like it, but then I realized why. Is because it's flavorful without being like a really super like artificial flavor. Like the Dunkin' flavors. The Dunkin' flavors, you know, I can do a caramel, but they're vanilla. Anything else, I've said this before, it just tastes like a candle to me. It tastes so fake and artificial and just like cheap and like disgusting. Like it smells like a candle that you would find at the dollar store. Or it tastes like that, and it's just like the worst. But this is actually really good. And yes, the cold foam does have some dairy, but I'm just like hoping and praying for the best. But I did make it vegan. It's like I can make this at home so easily, but like, do I want to? Like, I like going to get it. Anyway, rant hours. I feel like I kind of have some topics to talk about, but we're gonna I'm just gonna let myself, you know, free range it. Okay, so this is a rant, and I just wanted to talk about it because it's been on my mind, and I also wanted to know if anyone relates. So, as someone who, you know, I'm definitely very independent, and I feel like sometimes to the point where it's like not a problem, but it can, you know, get in the way of me actually living my best life. Like, I feel like it can very often also be an oldest child, or specifically like an oldest daughter thing where, you know, you don't want to ask for help. I know I have this kind of mentality of like, I can just do it by myself. Like, I don't want to rely on anyone else. I want to do things my way, and I don't want, you know, I've never really been one to play the damsel in distress, which not saying that's like a bad thing, because, you know, we all have our different, like, I don't know, ways of, you know, everyone's different. It's not like one is better than the other. But so I feel like so often, because, you know, I kind of mind my own business and like pay my own bills, like it's not like I'm like struggling, I feel like I need a man, like, because I'm naturally like that. I feel like so often me and, you know, women who are similar in that way, like, it attracts a lot of guys who want to use you for that. She has her shit together, like, I'm going to use that to my advantage. And I remember seeing this TikTok. I probably actually talked about it when I saw it, but it was a while ago. But I've recently kind of been thinking about it again. This girl was like, I think she was talking about specifically like getting guys with money, or like, you know, dating men with money. And she was like, you know, they don't want, you know, they're not going to like you. And this is, again, more so for, I don't know if it was specifically about sugar dating or anything, but it was more so that in that kind of range, and not so much like, I'm looking for my life partner, you know? Because there's definitely a difference in how you need to like strategize. But she said, you know, they want just a pretty girl. Like, they don't like you for your education or for your career or for your intelligence. Like, they want you to be pretty. They just want you to be like the stereotypical trophy. And she was like, when I have really played up the damsel in distress card and like, oh, like, I just can't do anything by myself, like, it attracts the guys who want to provide for you or help you. Whereas if you're like, I have all my shit together, like, you know, I don't need a man, it can very often attract more guys that are like, I see that and I want to use that, or that can benefit me. And I definitely can like see that pattern, especially when I was younger and more naive and like, I don't know, I didn't necessarily realize it, but now looking back, it's like, oh, that's like what was happening with this guy or whatever, and friends too. So I think the point, well, I wanted to rant, and it's just like, it's frustrating, because it's not like I don't feel like consciously I go out of my way to like, and it's not like every guy, but it's like you just kind of notice the trends, or like, and at this point I feel like I recognize it before it gets like too serious, so it's like, why would I even talk to you? But it's just like annoying because why, like, if I'm looking for like a boyfriend or like, a partner, like, it's not like I'm just like, oh, I'm like lolling, this guy has money and I'm having fun and like whatever, like I could play that role of like just the pretty girl, like like I would want someone who values all of that. So I think the key is you just have to you have to like recognize the red flags, set the boundaries, and like I think know exactly what you want in a relationship. Like you have to be very clear and intentional, and I think aware of like how you feel, because like I said, it's not always like this, it's not a conscious thing of like I'm independent, but so often my actions are in like my subconscious things, and like just how I act falls under that. So I've been trying to practice like awareness and like if, and this goes for like everything and just in life, because again it can be a very like, I don't know, just like a thing, I don't know what the word is, but like just the role that you fall into. Like for me, oldest child, like always been very independent, so that's just very easy for me and like subconscious, and I just fall into that role, in any kind of dynamic, whether it's like dating or in a friendship or whatever. So for me, being aware, can look like taking a step back. If I feel overwhelmed or like I need help with something, instead of just being like, I'll figure it out, like, if someone asks how I'm doing and it's like, maybe I actually am not doing okay, instead of saying, okay, I like take a step back, like, okay, how am I actually feeling? And like, if this person is offering their help or asking how I'm doing, like, how can I be honest to that person? And that doesn't mean like going around asking everyone to do shit for you, but like when it's already so hard to admit to yourself that, sometimes you can't do it all by yourself, like just allowing yourself to like take up space and ask for help. Or, I think especially in dating, and this is something I have kind of realized, as I've gotten older, but a lot of men like to help. And like I would just think of this perfect example. It was like when I first moved into this apartment and I was like putting together some furniture or something, and like this guy was asking me like, oh, like what are you doing today? And I was like, oh, I just like put together some furniture or whatever, like, still getting settled into my new place. And he was like, why didn't you ask me to help? And like it didn't even occur to me that that was like an option. Not that I needed help, bitch, I put all this shit together myself, okay? But I was like, oh. And he was like almost offended that I didn't like ask him for help. So I think also when you are in these like heteronormative, dynamics and relationships, like usually a man wants to be of service or like help you in that way. Like it makes them feel like a man. It's like, okay. But also just in general, like, if someone actually loves you, cares about you, whether it's as a BFGF partner or a friend or just whatever, like people like to help those that they care about and love. So stop. This is me at me. Stop falling into the role of just like being independent. I don't need to ever ask for anything. And I've kind of been like practicing that, trying to practice that, I think it just goes along with like the setting boundaries thing, because that's another thing. It's like not Instacart, bro. Okay, thank God. Dude, so side note, but I placed an Instacart order literally right before filming this, and usually it like takes them a while to start shopping, and they started shopping right away, and I was like, well, I don't want to like just wait, but looks good. Thank you so much. Shout out to Instacart. Literally, when a bitch doesn't drive, a bitch needs someone else to go pick it. Shit. Okay. Anyway. So excited. I was like, I don't know, I'm going out this weekend. Like, should I really get groceries, or should I just do quote unquote European style shopping? And like, bitch, if I'm going out, that's all the more reason to get groceries, because I'm gonna like come home and want a snack and like need to eat before I go. I'm like, what? Anyway, back to the point. I think asking for help, taking up space goes along with, this other, but they're really like kind of connected in the same thing, but like the other kind of journey I've been on of like setting boundaries. And I feel like, part of setting boundaries and saying no to people, or, just, I guess, being honest with people, is also being honest when you need to ask for something and when you need to take up space. Because this is something I've realized, in myself. If I am constantly falling into the role of like independent, I don't want to ask for help, that allows whoever I'm with to take up a lot more space. And, they're the one always asking for help. They're the one always needing to rant about something, or, ask you to do this for them, or, can you be my therapist, but I'm not going to listen to your problems because, you're independent, you have your shit together, you don't need, that's kind of like the subconscious, like, dynamic that is created. So part of having that equal relationship is like, sometimes I need to make myself uncomfortable and feel like I'm being annoying, even though it's literally not, and ask for help, or ask someone to do something for me, or whatever. And again, it's not in like everyone needs to do everything for me, what do I gain from the situation? But it's just like, why am I letting everyone else around me ask me for help, or, ask me to listen to their problems, but I'm not letting myself or allowing myself to like do the same? So realization, for real. And I do feel like, I don't know, I really do not like the statement or the vibe of like, you are what you attract. But I think there is something to be said about, the subconscious roles that we take on and our subconscious beliefs. And like, when we're not aware of them, and when we do just fall into these like patterns, without thinking about them, it can attract a lot of the same vibe of people, because, we're not aware of like what we're doing. So taking a breath and taking a step back is really helpful, bitch. It's like, wait, could I ask for help? Or could I say no? Or, and like, obviously, that's not to say, if someone asks you for something, you should say no all the time. But it's like, does it go both ways? That's like an actual healthy relationship, when both people want to help each other. And again, relationship, but like any kind of relationship, friendship, acquaintanceship. Are we acquainted at the same level, bitch? Like, so yeah, I hope that can be helpful to someone. But especially when it comes to dating, because I feel like also with that, like, there's also these like gender, at least, hetero dating, there's like these gender expectations on top of like all this other personal shit. So it can be a little, I don't want to say harder, but just like you also have to keep that in mind. And what did I find? Just like, you really have to be careful about there was this guy's IG story, and I was like, imagine agreeing with this. Oh yeah, here we go. He reposted this shit that was like, money, you're gonna laugh. Money attracts the female you want. Struggle attracts the woman you need. Not female and woman. Not females being used as the negative, And so y'all you do know when to use woman. That's another thing. Like, it's kind of related to this, kind of different, but obviously way more specific to like dating and like gender expectations. But that's the thing, like, these dudes want patriarchy light. You are gonna spend all your fucking time trying to get the bag, chase this money, spend racks in the club, and like the only thing, and it's the only thing you have to offer. You're not working on yourself. And this, you know, goes for that type of bro, you know, bitch. What did City Girl say? Never fall in love with a dude you meet up in the club. Because if a dude's always in the club, I don't want to be like, yeah, it's fun when you go out, but like, that's not serious. But you know, you're spending all this money to create this image of yourself and like make yourself look a certain way. But then like when women, not me, almost like, I was like, when females, oh my God. When women are attracted to you for that, you're like pissed off about that. Babe, what else do you have to offer? What do you bring to the table? Okay? I was talking about that in my most recent vlog too. Maybe that was on my mind because I had just seen this. I literally screenshotted it because I was like, yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. And then it just made me think of like, you know, the second part, struggle attracts the woman you need. Very much, and you have to be careful of this because dudes are so manipulative. The woman you need, so, you know, what does that look like? Ride or die. I want a female who's going to stick beside me. So what, you just want someone to accept you with all your flaws and not ask for anything and like not care that you don't wash your ass and like cook for you and do your poop stained laundry. Because like, what? So she proves she's not just with you for your money? Like, what is she gaining from the situation? And so you can really just like realize that these dudes do not care, you know, this style of bro. It's like a lot of them. They don't, like, you just have to ask yourself, what do you gain? And if you find yourself in a situation like that, like, once you start to realize the manipulation, like, they will make, I see this shit all the time. Like, they get into a relationship and the dude has literally nothing to offer. The girl has all the money, all the, you know, she's beautiful, she's a baddie. The man is actually ugly, doesn't have a job, is living with her. They're not living together. He's living with her in her apartment with the rent that she pays. He does not have a car. He drives her car. You know, the list goes on. And because he knows that she could go out and find someone else and she has her shit together, he's going to make her feel so shitty about herself and like no one else deserves her and like, or she doesn't deserve any, like no one else wants her. He's going to put her down. He's going to say she's ugly. And she's just so like, the confidence basically gets destroyed. And it's like, it's easy when you aren't in that situation to be like, I would just leave. And it's like, babe, it's not like the relationship starts out like that, you know, but it's just like little by little, they just wear you down. And it's like, they're so good at manipulating. Like, it's crazy. So look out for that. And like, sometimes you just really need to take a step back and ask yourself, like, what do I gain? So it's like, again, they want patriarchy, but they also want the woman to have money. And like, I'm not paying for any female. Like, yes, my money is, if they do have money, it's like, my money is my main selling point. But if a woman wants me for my money, she's a gold-digging whore female. And then there was like, I saw on Twitter, someone had screenshotted this like IG of this couple. I don't know if they were famous or not. I don't remember. But he was like, oh, put her through hell for a year just to see if she was worth it. Imagine your boyfriend says that about you. Like, first of all, that's so embarrassing because you're publicizing that you put me through shit and I'm still with you. But also just the fact that you would, like, be that calculated and, like, you fucking knew what you were doing this whole time and it was, like, some kind of test. Like, dude, it's so hard to date as a woman attracted to straight men because it's, like, there's just so much bullshit. And it's like, you know, I feel like so many of us just, you know, we're like working on ourselves, reading the relationship attachment books, reading self-help books, going to therapy, trying to better our communication styles. We really seek to like understand and like, oh, I feel for you. Like I want to be there for you. And it's like, these dudes are just like, females just want me for my money. Yes, I haven't changed since I was 16. So what? Society benefits me still. Females these days, they ask for so much. Like, it's like sickening. But then I think sometimes it's like boring to like not talk to. I was like, do I like men or do I just like tea? Am I just bored? And, you know, okay, yeah, obviously not men. Bro, it's just like, oh my God, like what are we doing? I really, and there are what was it, like unmarried women without children, single women without children are like the happiest subgroup. I'm like, I fucking feel that. Like, so you just have to ask yourself, you know, if you're feeling that, and it's completely normal to, because, you know, it's very ingrained in us that this is how life works and this is how our lives as women should look. But if you're feeling that pressure, like, oh, I need to find a relationship, I need to get married, I need to start thinking about having kids, you know, it's fine to want that if you actually do want that, but you have to ask yourself, like, is that what I actually want? Or is it just, you know, I feel pressure because that's what I am expected to do? Because so many women are just, like, so unhappy. And, y'all know I've talked about the statistics of marriage and, like, divorce rates and how women are a lot happier after divorce than men. And so much shit, you know, so many of these, like, expectations and rules and, like, societal pressures don't really benefit us at all. And it's like, they benefit men, but we're like, society is the little boyfriend telling us, like, oh my God, you are worthless without this. Like, you're still single? You're not married? Like, don't you know you have a biological clock? I was like, shut up. Like, bitches can't live their best life. And also it's like, it's fine if you want that, but you just, I feel like, have to ask yourself, do I actually want that? And I'm not saying I don't want that, but I think I feel like a lot of the times we settle because it's like we're scared to be alone. And that's, you know, that can be a gender specific thing because of the pressure and like, oh, I don't want to be seen as a whore or like an old maid or whatever. But also just like in general, I feel like there's a lot of pressure to be in a relationship or to get married because we are afraid of being alone. So then it's like, ask yourself, okay, well, why am I scared to be alone? Like, freedom. A lot of thoughts wrapped into this, but I would love to hear your thoughts. And also with that, okay, this is actually something else I've been doing and realized. So, you know, single women without kids are the happiest subgroup. And I really, I feel like there's statistics too, but I really feel like the more you are not around straight men, the happier you actually are. And yeah, sometimes it can be boring, but like, with that being said, you know, it's not an issue. I mean, it is an issue, but like, that's not to say, oh, you can never, you know, seek romance or affection or love from that, because if you are attracted to that, to deny yourself of that is like to deny part of like, I don't know, part of yourself, or like, you know, part of the joys of life. Because that's not to say, I mean, also everyone's different, but like, anyway, so what I've really learned is that if you know you're not interested, or you know this guy is like a little fuckboy or toxic or whatever, don't engage. Like, just don't. Like, if you're single and, you know, your DMs are popping sometimes, or you have dudes texting you, or you go out and you get some numbers, whatever, like, if you're already spotting red flags, don't engage. Because, and like, even with, I don't know, like IG story replies, like, yeah, sometimes we want the tea, but don't, unless you're really interested, or you know what your goal is when talking to this man, like, don't. Because a dude would not be talking to you unless he wanted to, a dude would not be talking to you unless he wanted to fuck. So you just have to keep that in mind. And, you know, so often I'd be like, oh, when I was like a lot younger, oh, like, they're just nice, oh, we're friends, you know, haha, like, they're just so funny, or, oh, like, or I would like go on a date just to see, which there's no harm in that, but it's like, if you already kind of know, like, sometimes I'd be like, well, you know, I don't really think I'm interested, but I'll just go on a date for the story. And that's not to say I'm never going to do that again, but I'm learning more and more, like, you could be putting yourself in a bad situation, and not even like an extreme, like, unsafe situation, but just like, it's just like, now I'm gonna have to deal with this. Like, just the practicality, like, now they're gonna think I'm interested because I agreed to go on the date, and then they're gonna want to go on another date, or then at the end of the date they're gonna ask me to go back to their apartment, and I'm gonna have to like say no or make up a story, and that's gonna make me uncomfortable, even though I know like what I'm doing is right. But like, it's just like a lot of unnecessary stress and bullshit. And like, yeah, okay, sometimes we want to do it for the tea, and that's not a bad thing, but it's just like, keep it in mind. Or even just like engaging on Instagram or in a text, like, what did someone say? And I know I've said this before. This bro was like, oh, I know she has a boyfriend. Like, she has a boyfriend, but she's still replying to me, so I know she's still down. And it's like, that's how y'all think? And it's like, the girl, okay, maybe she was still down, maybe whatever, but like, she probably is just like, well, I don't want to be rude and not reply. Or like, oh yeah, we used to talk, we used to be friends, or this guy is friendly to me, so even though, you know, I'm in a relationship, and it's not like every girl is gonna do this, like, but I'm just like, she probably just is trying to like not be rude, but you're taking it as like, oh, she's interested. And that's why, you know, we just come back to the thing, like, men don't see women as people, they see us as women. So you can't, you know, say hi. I think my mom was telling me this story of like, one of her friends would always go to the gym at a certain time, and she would like see this guy there, so she just like started saying hi to him. And then one time he like had brought his wife, and he was like, this is my wife. And it was just like so obvious that he was trying to be like, why? Like, he thought she was flirting with him or something. She was like, I literally just like would say good morning because I saw him every day. Like, and he took that as like her being interested. I was just like, oh my God. So it's just like, literally don't engage. Like, bitch face on, like, be rude, because it's self-protection, babe. Like, so annoying. Okay, this is like a little, not my Instagram. Okay, they're really on it today. They're like, we are actually on the way right now. Like, I appreciate the speediness, but damn, I'm not. You could take a little time, like, fuck. This, I don't know if I want to save this for my 6-month BBL update, but I guess I'll just let y'all know. So now, since more time has passed and I've gone out more, because I think at first I was kind of like, you know, I haven't noticed a huge difference in like guys talking to me or approaching me Bitch, I definitely have. On one hand, I definitely feel like I could pull anybody. And like, I don't know, I'm still, like, I was still cute before, but there was always like part of me that was like, oh, like, I have to be someone's type. Like, you know, like they have to like skinny girls, tall girls, like, you know, and now it's like I just feel like I could pull anybody because I know that I look good. And yeah, part of it is like a mental confidence thing, but I think most of it is like I just have ass now. There's almost like a little vibe of insecurity sometimes, I notice. Like they kind of know, or like they think like I'm too pretty for them, or like, wow. So I'm kind of like, am I out of your league? Like, what do you mean? And also just like I feel like this specifically is like a little, see, this is why I'm like, I need to save this for a video because I need to gather more of my thoughts. But I feel like I've been treated better, but I feel like that also is because I just, you know, mentally, regardless of like a BBL, ass, anything, like I just know how to navigate dating a little better. And I want to say I have more self-worth, but it's not like I didn't before, but now I like know a little more what that means. And like I just have higher standards now, and I'm just older now than, you know, before. But then all of that mixed with I also have ass now, bitch. So it's like I have more swag and game on an internal level, but I also like, and I say all this just to like share my observations. Like it's not like I'm going like, yeah, all the time, like actually, but it's just like very interesting to notice. And just like notice how, you know, when you, and I'm not trying to promote surgery or, you know, you're beautiful as you are, but I will say you get treated a lot better the more you fit into society's expectations of like how women should look. Like you just do. And I know we all know pretty privilege exists, like, so I hope that makes sense. I just don't want that to come across the wrong way, or like, yeah, I know I'm hot shit, or like whatever, but it's just like, okay, this is something I did and something I am experiencing, and I do want to like share my honest observations. So it's like you can't really hate on anyone, you know, getting surgery or getting injectables or changing how they look, because it's just a fact you're going to be treated better the more you fit into society's standards. So that's not saying you have to do that, but like, you know, you could do the opposite thing. I feel like there's almost like two extremes. You could like really like revolt against that, and then you can also just like play the game and like, you know, use it to your advantage. Or you don't have to either, like, do whatever you want. But it's just, like, again, interesting to observe, and, like, it's like, oh. And, yeah. Don't get fucking played. Don't let a fucking Destiny play you. Seriously. There was, like, something else I wanted to talk about, but I kind of forget. Let me check my notes app. I think that was it. Oh, this was, like, one of the main things I wanted to talk about, but we got a little sidetracked. This is just like more of a random thought though, I guess at this point. I wrote, a lot of little dating tips and tricks are bullshit. What really matters is how you feel and red flags and overall stuff. So for example, is there a train outside? I remember watching this like dating advice video, and the guy was, first of all, it was a man. Okay, should have known right then and there. This was like probably 2017 or 2018 now, and he was like, yeah, when you're staying the night at a guy's and he asks you to go get coffee, just put your hair in a messy bun and don't worry about getting too presentable, because it will show that you're carefree. And it's like, okay, if you're actually like getting to know someone or in that kind of situation, like I'm pretty sure how you do your hair when you go to get coffee is like the least of anyone's concerns. Like like what? This was like a serious like advice video. Let me know if you know who I'm talking about. I don't know, it might be too vague, but I feel like there's so many more important things, and not even just like in a how you look doesn't matter, but just like how do I feel when I'm around this person? How do I feel after hanging around this person? How do they speak to me? How do they treat me? Like, you know. And also it's like there's different red flags. So everyone's goal should be to not respond to a man, say no to a man, ask a man for help, ask someone for help, take up space, talk about, if you're like me and you're like, you need to work on taking up more space, talk about yourself for a little longer than maybe you normally would. If it's not a problem when you actually need to learn how to shut the fuck up sometimes, maybe ask how you can be of help to someone else. Love you guys so much, and I will talk to you. Let me know what you want me to talk about in next week's episode. Let me know if you have any questions or need advice on anything, and I will talk to y'all then. Love you guys.